I want to tell AOC.
Oh, here we go. What's up? What's up?
He loves it.
He does love it.
This morning, she intended to become a prophet.
Oh, it's because
And
it was
she
raining
said-
this morning, and I said God is good.
Even God doesn't want
He's
Trump
a
in the
pastor.
He's a
Because
pastor.
he's going
He's
to
a pastor,
rain.
and he
Oh
has
my
all these he has this network of churches
Madam Prophet
that he has.
AOC,
That he here. I'll let him say what
Let's-
he
you
wants.
have
Yeah, let him
become
cook.
a false prophet.
False prophet.
Look at what a beautiful day. That means that not only you guys want Trump in the Bronx, because if we're gonna measure that for the weather, then I would say humbly that even God wants you in the Bronx.
This guy's awesome.
It's important right now to let all of New York know that the Bronx is now MAGA country.
And to top off this tomfoolery, Trump floated Florida Congressman Byron Donalds as a potential vice presidential pick. Donalds, who backed Trump's lie that Biden authorized the feds to take him out, that guy, the one black guy that Republicans love to roll out as fake proof that black people, the blacks, are just MAGA. They're MAGA. It's a joke, and just as credible as when they pretended they were going to make that guy Speaker of the House, because they weren't going to do that either.
All right, guys, so we got to follow up on the continuation of our coverage of the mainstream liberal media and Democrats coping and melting down over the fact that their diversity coalition is falling apart, okay? I mean, this is happening on multiple levels. Now, what we've covered the most over the past few months are the Israel-Gaza protests, where you have the far left saying, hey, we're not going to vote for Joe Biden because we don't agree with his policies in Israel, okay? And that has really hurt the Democrat Party because it means that their progressive base is less likely to come out and vote for them. But what's also hurting the Democrat Party is the diversity coalition in general, okay? All of the so-called people of color that are supposed to come together and vote against the straight, white, male, Christian conservative, right? Those people, they've decided that, you know what? The economy and the border, these are colorblind issues, and they are hurting us when it comes to the policies of the Democrat Party. So therefore, we are moving towards supporting Trump. That is what is happening in the polls. And also, you can see at the Bronx rally that Trump held a couple days ago, a lot of people that showed up were so-called people of color. Again, this was in a neighborhood that is mostly so-called black and brown, but Trump, who's supposed to be a white supremacist, he's supposed to be a racist, he's supposed to be a xenophobe, he shows up and has a massive rally, okay? And I'm pretty sure if Joe Biden showed up to that neighborhood, he would not be able to have a rally the size of Trump's. It just wouldn't happen, right? He just wouldn't be able to do it. There's no way. And, you know, it's just funny to me because if Democrats really wanted to try to prove that Trump's support in the Bronx is insignificant, then, I don't know, maybe AOC could hold her own rally, or maybe Joe Biden could hold his own rally. But they won't do that because they know that nobody would show up. In fact, if people do show up, they're going to be booing Joe Biden and AOC, and they just wouldn't have a good time, right? It wouldn't be a good look, okay? So again, nobody except Trump, right? There's no other politician except Trump really in this country that could have held a rally like that and got the turnout that he got. And that is what pisses off the mainstream liberal media, right? People like Joy Reid, the race hustlers of the mainstream liberal media, want to come out here and pretend like, hey, black MAGA supporters or black America First supporters, black Trump supporters don't really exist, right? That's not really a thing. So she tries to insinuate that people like Byron Donalds are tokens for the Republican Party to pretend as if Trump has black support. But we know based off the polls that at the very least, black men are definitely moving towards Trump. But hey, in my humble opinion, Joy Reid is the last person that should be calling somebody a token or insinuating that they're not a real black voice, especially considering how she is an African woman that really wants to be white, cosplaying as a black American that is a descendant of slaves while peddling white liberal talking points on BSDNC, right? So again, she wants to talk about being a token. I think she's the biggest token in the news and in politics because her one job really is to attack black conservatives, right? To pretend that anybody who ain't a Democrat, who's not liberal, who's not progressive, ain't really black, right? They're not a real voice, okay, for black people. But again, her as an African woman, who again really wants to be white, culture appropriating white culture every single day on her show with that blonde wig. Yeah, she's a real voice for black people, right? Again, it's just hilarious how that works. But anyways, she's not the only so-called person of color, right, that is upset with this in the liberal media. We also have Ana Navarro, who claims to be a voice for Hispanics and Latinos. She is upset. She's going on CNN, and she's going to fume over Latino voters supporting tougher border laws, okay, which is something that you're not supposed to support if you're Latino. If you're Latino, you're supposed to be for illegal immigration across the board, right, according to people like Ana Navarro, who again is going to cry about this with Jim Acosta on CNN. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Want to get us from within. I think they're building an army. They come up in what's called caravans. The women are treated horribly. They're being raped at levels that nobody's ever seen before. Remember the snake, because you're going to get bitten like you never got bitten before.
Now, that's a reference to a bizarre poem called The Snake that's become a staple at his rallies, in which he compares immigrants to snakes. And here's how the MAGA crowd reacted to that rhetoric yesterday.
Again, I just find it so hilarious how these people realizing that all of the things they're saying about, well, Trump is racist, all the things he says are racist, all the policies he supports are racist. It's so funny how you have these same people that they've tried to pander to so much, the mainstream liberal media, to convince them that Trump is racist. They're out here saying all of the chants and slogans that, again, the liberal media claims is racist. These chants and slogans are being said by so-called people of color. Okay, you have Latinos saying, send them back, right? It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
There are chances of send them back. All right, let's discuss now with CNN political commentators Ana Navarro and Kate Bedingfield. Anna, let me start with you. I mean, you and I have talked about this many times, about his rhetoric, the rhetoric he uses to talk about migrants and so on. And I just have to ask you, Anna, I mean, when you look at the poll numbers, and you see, if you break out the demographics, Trump is doing better among Latinos. He is doing better among African American voters, and it certainly is a threat to the president's reelection campaign. Is there what do you make of this disconnect?
AKA, I can't understand why our talking points, right, why our attacks, why our propaganda isn't working on the Latinos. So Ana Navarro, Latina lady who pretends to be a Republican because quite literally she's a Republican in name only. She's actually really a liberal, okay? She's a liberal propagandist. Let's be honest about it. Please explain to us, right, why our propaganda isn't working on your people, right? This is what Jim Acosta is asking Ana Navarro.
Well, a few things. One is, I think America has a little bit of amnesia when it comes to Donald Trump. And frankly, being in a courtroom for the last 20 days, I think has helped him because he's not been out in rallies saying the stupid stuff he says and the incendiary, outrageous things he says on a daily basis. We've been focusing on Michael Cohen. We've been focusing on Stormy Daniels. We haven't been focusing on the things that Donald Trump says.
Ana Navarro might be one of the dumbest political commentators. I'm so serious, bro. Like, you know, one of the reasons why I think the Democrats are losing so bad is because their consultants, right, the people that they go to for advice, literally are just stupid, right? Like, they're just dumb. Listen to what Ana Navarro just said. Well, we haven't been covering Trump's rallies enough. We haven't been covering the stupid things that he says enough. Dude, this segment just opened with Jim Acosta doing his propaganda spin on the things that Trump says at his rallies. But what he's asking you is, why is it not working, right? Why is the coverage of the things that Trump is saying not working? Why is it that you have Latinos at Trump's rallies demanding, chanting, to send illegal immigrants back, wanting to deport illegal immigrants. Why is that? Because we spent all this time trying to convince Latinos and black people that illegal immigration was good, right? So why is it not working? Now, again, the real answer to this question should be along the lines of, well, that's because illegal immigration is not good for the country. And these people understand firsthand because, again, a lot of these Democrat cities are sanctuary cities that illegals take up resources, that you have a spike in crime, that your neighborhoods aren't being taken care of, and Democrats are spending a ton of money to take care of people who don't pay into the system, who are just sucking up resources, right? And eventually, when Biden allows them to work, they're going to take a lot of the jobs that are here from the American people that came into the country legally, that did it the right way. They're going to undermine those people, and that's not right. That's the real answer. But Ana Navarro is not going to give that answer because as a paid Latina Democrat propagandist, her job is to deflect and to pretend like the Democrats and their policies are not the problem, right? Even though this woman claims to be a Republican, that's what blows my mind, right? You're claiming to be a Republican, but yet you're not talking about the fact that, hey, a lot of people that come into this country legally don't like illegal immigration because they feel like it undermines the system and that it's unfair to them, that they had to go through it the right way and they went through the process and everybody else should have to do so as well too, right? A lot of people feel that way, okay? A lot of Latinos feel that way. And again, you would think that as a Latino person that Ana Navarro will understand that and she would express that. But again, that's not what they're paying her to say. They're actually really paying her to trash Trump, because if she wasn't trashing Trump, just like Alyssa Farrah Griffin, just like Adam Kinzinger, just like Liz Cheney, they would have them on their show, right? Their only usefulness is for trashing Trump, not to give a real conservative perspective on this issue. No. That's the last thing that CNN wants. They don't want that. They just want her to come out here and to be, again, the token Latino woman to trash Trump and the things he says and tries to say, well, it's racist, even though you have Latino voters sitting out there literally cheering on the things that Trump is saying that are supposed to be racist. Again, it blows my mind.
Another thing is, I think at this point in 2024, this is kind of baked in. People already know the guy's a misogynist. They already know he's a racist. They already know he says divisive things. And they seem not to take him literally or seriously. They think it's kind of part of a clown act, entertainment. And then
no, what they see or what they hear is the fact that Trump is not saying anything racist. That's saying that we want to close the border. We need to deport illegal immigrants. These things are not racist, okay? These are just policies. Just because Democrats say that it's racist doesn't mean that it's racist. And that's what people are learning, right? This is what people are learning. They're learning the hard way that, hey, you know, all of these policies that Democrats vouch for because of racism, again, like open borders, well, you're racist if you don't support illegal immigrants just flooding into the country. Well, it turns out that really hurts us. When it comes to being soft on crime, oh, well, you got to defund the police and let's just not lock up criminals because it's racist to lock up black folks. People learning the hard way that, not really good for us, right? Not really good for society to be soft on crime and to allow criminals to cause havoc and chaos in these cities. People, unfortunately, learning the hard way that this policy is racist doesn't mean that it's a bad policy. It just means that it's a policy that Democrats don't agree with. And the reason why they call it racist is because they cannot prove that it's a bad policy based off the merits of the policy. So therefore, they just say, well, it's racist if you don't agree with our agenda and what we want to do. And again, people are learning that, yeah, that leads to bad outcomes, right? That leads to bad outcomes.
And the third thing, Jim, and this is the truth, and you and I know this, as Latinos, there are some Latino immigrants who forget they came here as immigrants and who want to shut the door behind them and who think being anti-immigrant somehow is going to make them pass as more American, pass as whatever. And that's a very stupid attitude to have, because what folks don't realize is that when the guy drives thousands of miles to go hunt down Latinos in a Walmart in Texas, he doesn't care when you came here. He doesn't care what your accent is. What he's looking for is, does it look like me? Does it sound like me? That's what he's looking for. So, you know, when people are anti something, they're not asking for your papers. They're just anti that group.
Yeah.
What the hell does that have to do with Trump's policies? It has nothing to do with anything. This is all emotion. It's, well, a mass shooter will go out there and kill Latinos. Okay, well, what does that have to do with border policy? It doesn't have anything. She's just saying it. What does it have to do with anything? But if you are a Latino person in this country, you're not anti-immigrant if you don't like illegal immigration, right? You just want everybody to do it the right way and go through the process that you went through to come into this country. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, if you're not pro-illegal immigration, which is what people are complaining about, people aren't saying, let's deport all Latinos or let's deport all immigrants. That's not what people are saying. They're saying we need to deport the illegals, right? But again, they try to twist that to try to make it seem like, no, you're just anti-immigrant in general. And people are starting to see through this nonsense. They're starting to see through the rhetoric of the Democrat Party and how these people simply just twist everything that Trump says to make it seem like he's saying something that he's not. But if you actually really listen to Trump with an open ear, with an honest ear, you can hear that, no, this guy's not a racist. He's just vouching for policies that are good for this country. If you want to call it racist, call it racist. But the policies are good for this country. Then they're good for everybody. And that's why you see people showing up from across the spectrum. Doesn't matter what race, what skin color you are, your ethnicity, whether or not you are an immigrant, doesn't matter. They're supporting Trump because they understand that, hey, his policies are going to benefit this country as a whole. Okay. And that is what they're mainly concerned about. And I love to see it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.